Hey musicians, tired of fumbling with your tablet or phone on stage? Meet Black Box Prompter, the smart, discreet teleprompter your audience won't even know is there. Perfect for live performers delivering their best without squinting, swiping, or scrolling. Never forget a lyric again. Visit blackboxprompter.com with promo code VIBES to get 10% off your next purchase.
Listen to the vibes.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Vibes, and I'd love to welcome here Tory Smith, who is the creator of the Black Box Prompter. We're going to get to know him and have a great conversation. So, Tory, tell us a little bit more about you.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Kyle. Let's see. Gosh, where do I start? I'll give you the Cliff Notes. In recent years, anything that'll be of interest to the listeners. So my passion is live music, and cover band music. I actually play in and manage two cover bands in the Dallas area. One is an '80s band called '80s Gadgets. The other is actually a '90s country band called 90 Proof Country. And I've learned a lot. It's the coolest side hustle I could imagine. Meeting new people, putting smiles on their faces, on the weekends, making them forget about life for a little bit, and have them relive their youth. I cannot think of a cooler hobby than that. And actually get paid for it. And they invite us back. I mean, we're actually good enough. They invite us back, which is amazing. But man, that is the absolute coolest thing. And so yeah, that's been taking up quite a bit of my time, but man, I'm loving it. I get to work with some family. My brother is the singer and both of the bands, and we just keep growing, and I get to market it and do all the fun things, about finding more opportunities and closing those opportunities and going and hunting for the next opportunity, and it just gets me firing off on all cylinders, man. So I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
So, what exactly is your Black Box Prompter?
Yeah, so the evolution of black box prompter actually came. There were two kind of aha moments that happened. The first one I'll tell you, man, when we started my '80s band 5 years ago, my brother was a singer, and he didn't want to be that guy with the iPad in his face or a music stand in his face, or even kind of squinting down on his cell phone if he needed to grab an occasional lyric, right? I mean, there's no shame in glancing to get a lyric. I mean, your pros, most of your pros filling out arenas use a teleprompter, so no shame in that. But he didn't want to be that guy, in a club or venue or where it's right in his face, and so he was seeing what was out there, and he didn't find anything he really liked. And so he ended up going into the garage, and he found an Amazon shipping box. True story. I'm not making this up. He found an Amazon shipping box, cut it out, and put black duct tape all around it. Covered it all with that tape, and then he set it down on the floor, and he put his iPad right inside of it at an angle.
Mhm.
And then he used some software with some pedals, and that became his poor man's teleprompter. And so that was about 5 years ago. Okay. Now fast forward to about ten months ago or so. He's still using this thing and it's working, But I talked to a drummer friend of mine who happens to be one of the most brilliant software engineers in the world. I mean, he's like off the charts IQ, wicked smart. He's built AIs from scratch. He's got patents on like the Tomahawk cruise missile. I mean, this guy is
Wow.
off the charts smart. And I showed him what my brother was using, and I said, man, I said if we could build like a real version of this, like the Cadillac version of this, it'll sell like hotcakes. And so the very next day, now he was in retirement. He had just recently retired, but he didn't stay in retirement long because that next day he was in his garage sketching out drawings. Ended up buying a CNC machine, cutting out the wood parts, and then he went behind the computer, started coding, and just went to town on it. And I was like, wow, we might have a legit business here. And then it was about 6 weeks after that we launched at the Dallas Guitar Show, and it was one of the most popular booths there. Man, people were coming by. Ted Nugent's guitar player, Derek St. Holmes, came by, and he was like, "Man, this is the coolest." So he got a box. Gary Hoey, who was another incredible guitar player, he was really digging it. And so right off the bat, we knew we had something special. And a lot of folks kept coming by and they kept saying over and over, man, it's about time. Because they all see what I've been seeing, is the stupid tablet or phone in the face. That just it's just a distraction, and so we knew we had something special. And so that was, man, that was about 10 months ago. Or well, that was last May. So um, and so since then, we've changed the box up. We've added more features, man, and we can certainly talk about that. I don't want to geek out too much, but the whole point is to really find a better way. There is a better mousetrap out there, and my goal is to replace that iPad or that iPhone as the industry standard, and making the black box prompter kind of the go-to anytime you need to see, hey, what song are we playing next? Look at your set list, or hey, what chord progression is this? If you're a guitar player, or if you're the singer, wow, man, how does that bridge go again? What was that line? I need a quick glance to get that line. And so that's really kind of how it all evolved.
Well, I don't know a whole lot about teleprompters and that kind of thing, but most folks out there are going to say, what makes this any different than a regular teleprompter?
A lot, actually. Well, thanks for asking. So I don't know if you can see in the background here. I know most listeners are going to be listening by ear, not seeing our live stream here. Um, but first and foremost, this is a teleprompter that you can control with your feet. Okay,
Mhm.
it's not a touch screen. You don't squat down to touch it. You control it. You navigate with your feet. It's like a three-button mouse. You have a button on the left to go back a page. You have a button on the far right. You can go forward a page, and you have a big button in the middle. It's like hitting the enter key, where you can select and go to the next thing. And so, first of all, you can control it yourself. Because other teleprompters, the teleprompter's been around, gosh, probably since the 60s.
Hmm.
Don't quote me on that. I'll have to fact check myself, but I know even Elvis, used teleprompters back in the day. And nowadays, the commercial ones, they call them prompts, but that's a teleprompter technician. They actually had dedicated people, and their one job is to make sure that the right line is being fed at the right time.
Hmm.
And that's not really our market. That's not our audience. Our audience are those that are going to be playing in a pub, or a bar, or on stage somewhere. It could even be. I was talking to somebody yesterday in theater, and having actors kind of use it, where you can have kind of multiple boxes, and they can all be synced together. So a few things about what's different about this one, man. Oh, well, a ton. I mean, it's got Wi-Fi built in, so you can actually sync up. You can synchronize multiple boxes at one time, where one person's in charge of one, and then all the others change the pages at the same time. So if your bass player, your drummer, your keyboard player also wants to see the chords or the lyrics, y'all they can all be on the same page, which
Right.
makes it pretty handy. I mentioned Wi-Fi, so it's got internet. I mean, if you need to pull up YouTube, you need to pull up if you're a guitar player, you're familiar with the website Ultimate Guitar. Maybe you get a request online, or from the audience rather, and you need to pull up, and you don't remember the chords. You vaguely know how it goes, but you don't really know the chords or every single word. Boom, you can pull up YouTube or Ultimate Guitar really quickly with it as well. It even has an audio jack, a little headphone jack that you can connect the speaker to. So then you have kind of instant karaoke. I mean, if you want to pull up YouTube, what I call poor man's karaoke. And I'm not talking any fancy karaoke software. I'm like, hop out to YouTube, find a song with the lyrics, and then you got a speaker that you connect to this thing, and boom, now you have karaoke if you absolutely want it. So lots of different little use cases for this, and I can go into the hardware and stuff. It's got a shatterproof shield. We had somebody drop a microphone stand on it a couple months ago, and it just bounced right off. It didn't break it at all. So these things are pretty well built. But the short of it is, it's one that you can control yourself. And it doesn't take a PhD to use. I mean, it's all based on like text files. You get your songs off your computer onto a thumb drive, put the thumb
Hmm.
drive in, and boom, you're off to the races.
Nice. Well, I'm going to get inside your head a little bit. I've had different entrepreneurs and people that are doing stuff that they want to do in life. What made you want to pursue things that you really want to do versus that 9 to 5 job?
Oh man, I love this question. So, we are all wired very, very differently, every single one of us. And I knew, probably 15, 20 years ago that the 9 to 5 wasn't really for me. Now, I did the 9 to 5. I worked for large companies. I worked for Citigroup. I worked for Travelocity. I did some pretty interesting in the marketing realm, right?
Right.
Did the 9 to 5. Found out I didn't really like it. I mean, yeah, steady paycheck benefits, and that's great, but am I really leaving a mark on this life and any kind of impact? And there's just something inside, deep within that's like, no, there's more to this life for you to kind of, jump out of that pond, so to speak, and find something that's really your calling. And I've longed for that for a while, and I didn't quite know what my calling was, and then this opportunity kind of presented itself where it's like, wow, I teamed up with somebody super, super talented, just a brilliant, brilliant mind who's super passionate about this. And then with my marketing background, I've been doing marketing on all levels for over 20 years. I
Hmm.
thought, man, what a great pairing. Why don't we team up and do this? But just seeing such a need in the marketplace for something like this, getting early validation that this is, this could be a really, huge thing. I mean, we're about to launch at NAM next week. If you guys are familiar with NAM, it's a Super Bowl trade show for music merchants.
Hmm.
And so, we've got a lot of great opportunities there that are already starting to fall into place. And so, but to answer your question, it's just one of those things where you wake up every day scratching your head. Is this what I was meant to do? And the 9 to 5, I knew it really wasn't really where I felt I should be, if that makes sense.
What would you tell someone out there that wants to do something like that, but they're too afraid to step away from that security?
Yeah, and that is really the biggest hurdle to get over. I mean, taking that leap of faith on yourself, betting on yourself,
Mm-hmm.
um, that's the hardest step, right? And it's like, what do you do to prepare yourself for that? Well, and I'm sure most entrepreneurs feel the same way, but I would make sure that you have some sort of savings set aside to fall back on. Because I'm going to tell you, when you first start your business, it's going to be a thankless job, and you're not going to be making money day one, month one, maybe not even year one. I mean, truth be told, we're the company's just less than a year old. I haven't taken a paycheck from the company yet because we're in ramp up mode, we're in startup mode. So I'm having to tap into savings to kind of live off of. Now I've got 2 kids, 2 teenage daughters, which are very expensive. A wife, a mortgage, 3 car payments. It's a scary, scary time. But am I doing things to kind of reduce that risk? Yeah, a little bit. But I'm putting pressure on myself that hey, I'm doubling down on this. It was interesting. I talked to a financial advisor the other day, and I was kind of sharing with him, my finances and this and that. And I won't go into too much detail, but he said, yeah, he goes, savings wise, yeah, you're a little bit behind the 8 ball, but you are investing in other things. You're investing in this startup, right? That is an investment if you think about it. It's a higher risk investment, but nonetheless, you are investing in the startup because if it does go well, and we do turn around and sell it for $5 to $10 million in the next 5 to 10 years, okay, then it's all worth it. But we're absolutely making a risk, and so you have to be willing to take risks if you're really going to get out of that 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And then again, I tell myself, look, hey man, if we fall flat on our face, I can always go back and get a 9 to 5. You know, I mean, worst case, deliver pizzas, drive for Uber. I mean, you do what it takes. I mean, I was raised, you roll up your sleeves, you
Yep.
do whatever it takes to provide for your family, period. Um, and so yeah, again, take a risk on yourself. And if it completely wasn't the right move, then, try again or find something that can at least pay the bills.
So are you thinking of what's going to be that next big thing for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the next big thing for me is really getting Black Box Prompter off the ground. Within a very short time, we have already partnered up with the largest iPad app for scrolling lyrics. They're called Onsong. And so Onsong caught wind of us. We've already spent time with them. We're actually going to be announcing at NAMM next week this partnership where we're actually putting their software on our box. It's going to be Black Box Prompter powered by Onsong. And that's huge. There's over 400,000 users that they already have. They've been at it for 11 years. There's already 400,000 users. So they're going to market on our behalf. We're going to tap into their audience. And so that's really huge. Another thing that was very serendipitous was there's a gentleman by the name of John Chandler. Now that's probably not a household name, but if you're a guitar player, you probably are familiar with the company that he started in the early 2000s called Pedal Train. Pedal Train was the board that you put your guitar pedals on.
Hmm.
That it's like a little metal rack. It comes in different sizes and stuff, but all the pros use them. I mean, there's not a music store around that doesn't carry them. I mean, they're everywhere. So he started that, and he sold the company about 7 years ago. But he's still around. He moved to the Dallas area where I live, and he came across our site, and so he's coming to NAMM with us, and he's going to tap into his Rolodex because he's a well-connected guy. So we're working with him as a strategic partner as well. I don't mind sharing, and he's just a great guy. He's very personable. If you ever get to meet him, he's such a just a great genuine guy. But he made a lot of money in this industry and knows a lot of people, and so it's things like that are happening in the first year that keep me going, It's like, hey, it's early, but man, we're very confident that this is something that will take off. We just have to keep churning. You know.
Well, if someone wants to get one, where would they go?
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you asking. So, blackboxprompter.com. You'll see a number of videos. You go on the homepage, you're going to see a ton of features. We touched on a few of them today, but there's a lot you can do with it. So, if whether you're a musician in a cover band or an original band, even, especially if you got new songs and maybe you don't remember every single word, what's great is the prompters on the floor. It blends in with the floor. The audience has no idea you're even using the dang thing. They think it's a speaker wedge from their perspective because it's black speaker paint. It looks like a speaker monitor on the stage. If you're in church, church musicians, could really take advantage of this because you get the guy running the slides at church. He falls asleep at the PowerPoint, and everybody gets off track, and but this way you're in control and you can turn the page whenever the heck you need to turn the page. But yeah, to answer your question, blackboxprompter.com. And if your listeners are interested in buying one and they want to get 10% off, they can use the promo code VIBES, VIBES. That'll knock 10% off the total bill. And if you're within the United States, the 48 continental states, we take care of the shipping for you. Because
Nice.
these things are close to 30 pounds or 25 to 30 pounds. Shipping's not cheap, but we take care of that for you, so you don't have to pay shipping. And it comes with, you go on the website, but it comes with all the stuff I talked about, the pedals, the shield. It comes with a magnetic cover, the software, even a keyboard with a trackpad, so you can go in and edit songs and set lists directly on the box without having to go back and forth with your computer. So it's got a lot of cool features built in. I really recommend it if you're using an iPad or a tablet or a phone currently. Yeah, check it out and see if this might be worth pursuing. And then we do offer finance plans as well.
Do you have social media set up already?
Absolutely. You can find us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/blackboxprompter. Same with Instagram, instagram.com/blackboxprompter, and then YouTube, whatever the URL is. But you can just punch in the search box Black Box Prompter. In LinkedIn, we're on LinkedIn as well.
Well, I'm going to put all those links in the description just to make it easy for folks to find you. Tori,
Awesome.
thank you so much, man. This has been really cool.
Yeah, Kyle, I appreciate you having me, and thank you for what you're doing. Continue to help startups and entrepreneurs, get the word out on something like this because it really is a game changer. Man, the customers who come back after using it for a few weeks at a gig, they're like, "Oh my God, this is the cool." They just they speak volumes on how it's almost like a cult following. They just love it, and it's so cool to get that, to hear back from customers just on how happy they are with it. So yeah, so if you're listening, you want to give it a shot, we also have a 30-day guarantee. So if for whatever reason it's not a fit, we can give you a refund back. Not an issue there at all. So very, very low risk. But Kyle, I appreciate you having me, man. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate all you folks out there. If you are new to the channel, I hope you'll come back. Please hit that subscribe button. For my regulars, you guys are awesome because you make it possible for me to do this. Until the next one, everyone, please take care. Be kind to one another. God bless and peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Listen to the Vibes. You can catch us on Buzzsprout or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at The Vibes Broadcast Network